You ever get that feeling where you've been somewhere before in a dream and then you visit there in person and you're like, how did I know this place existed already? I'm getting that feeling. Tempe did seem awfully familiar. What is it? That's right, it's where Historic Aerials defaults their map view to. Anyways, I'm in Arizona to visit some friends in Scottsdale, which is about 10 miles northeast of downtown Phoenix and directly north of Tempe. Grapefruits. Or oranges. It's too early to tell. No, they's grapefruits. They's grapefruits. So I'm staying with my friends in Scottsdale, which, for lack of a better comparison, is like the Irvine of Greater Phoenix, in that it's like really nice and it's the kind of place everyone wants to live if they could afford to. But since it's so far away from the city center, it is very car dependent inherently. But there are 3 bus routes that are free. We're about to take that to the train museum. Other than that, all I can say about Arizona is the air here feels so much cleaner. I mean, for someone who lives right next to the city of industry, which apparently has some of the worst air quality in the country, this is such a breath of fresh air.
Really?
In spite of the obvious car dependency and very in line with the Irvine comparison, there are a lot of good green belts and bike trails in this area. I love how overbuilt these bus shelters are. I definitely feel safe sitting in one of these. I think Foothill Transit can learn from these. I don't know why the benches are opposing each other, but if you ask me, they always put them wrong, because why do they always make it perpendicular to the direction of travel so you have to crank your neck so far to see if the bus is coming? But I suppose if you sit sideways, this is pretty alright. The free neighborhood circulator buses are labeled with a 4-letter acronym abbreviation to differentiate them from the regular numbered bus routes. Also, it's kind of convenient that all the buses and trains operate under the same transit agency here, unlike LA County that has dozens. Thank you. Sweet, time to walk a few blocks to that museum. Another man-made lake in a desert. Don't they know this is a desert? This must be the trains. Love me a good bike-shaped bike rack. I mean, personally, I'm more of a diesel guy, but I love the craftsmanship on these old steam engines. And speaking of craftsmanship, Gabe Brooks' machine shop. We're gonna check that out. Since I'm a machinist, this is incredibly cool. This is so original. Basically, back in the days, original machine shops were built by rivers so they could have a water wheel power this shaft from the ceiling. And then all the machines, you would have a belt running down to each one. And then when motors were invented, they would just have a big motor out back to spin the shaft, and they could locate them anywhere, not just along rivers. This is why all the Industrial Revolution era cities looked so dirty and polluted, because all the factories had to have their own engines out back before the era of electric motors and generating power off-site. Oh, it looks like here they got it running off like a little motor from the ceiling. But just the belts from the ceiling was so dangerous, and that in order to change the speed, you would have to disengage the belt while the shaft was still spinning, or like loop it around in a figure 8 to run it reverse. It's crazy. So we got mill, shaper, drill press, lathe, bench grinder, everything you could possibly need. And they got some original Santa Fe and the Pullman car. Hey look, it's the precursor to the train I took to get here. When it used to go to Phoenix. Things that make me glad I take trains in the 21st century. This doorway. I'm half expecting someone to be in there. Wow. That technology. So the story with this is after World War II, the French were like, hey, thanks for helping us. and they donated one of these cars to every state in the United States at the time, and this was the Arizona one. So that's pretty cool. Thanks, French. And they got this really impressive model railroad setup, which we'll check out. They've got the whole miniature railroad decked out for the Halloween SPOOK-TRACK-ULA, which we're gonna check out later. Actually, for the sake of continuity, I filmed it yesterday, but no one's gonna notice. But for me, the thing that had me best, Cactus jack-o'-lanterns. If only Maricopa was this close, I wouldn't have to take that van. More history. Also worth noting that the mayor's last name was Drinkwater. Wow, this place dates back. I'm morally obliged to point out that they misspelled die. Nice, they got the classic Southern Pacific caboose converted into a snacks shop. And just when I thought it couldn't get any better, you can rent out a train car for your birthday party. There's one of the consists you can ride. Hey, I'm the friendly cactus. You didn't expect to see me here. So it looks like they got 3 scales going here. They have the O scale, the N scale, and then HO scale at the end. This is sweet. So much attention to detail. Real talk, the F45 is the best locomotive ever. Hey, that's an FP45! You know it's being run by real foamers when they have virtual rail fan open on the screen right there. As seen on Army Men vs. Legos. Don't be fooled about pedestrian accessibility here, people. We got an undercrossing. And also, hashtag ride fines, walk fines. Keeping it. Was someone having a birthday party underneath the street? Nice. Don't have to walk down to the signal crosswalk. Dang, there's so much wind I'm getting sprayed by that sprinkler this far away. This so feels like Palm Springs. On this side of the street there are these metal horse sculptures, which are apparently part of this VR exhibit. What? You have to download an app? I think each of these is a still frame from a video of a horse running. Let's find out. I will admit I'm somewhat morally opposed to painting a stripe on the sidewalk and calling it a bike trail, because where are the people gonna walk? You can't just have competing modes of transit on the same path. See also streetcars. But this is definitely a city I would love to have brought my bike to, if only Maricopa allowed bicycle checking on the Amtrak station. Sounds like a folding bike is in my future. No, it sounds like they need to bring service back to Phoenix and Tempe, which it sounds like they are. Why else would they be renovating that station there? But I'll believe it when I see it. I don't know why they put the bench so far away from the bus stop. Especially since you can't even see the street, see if your bus is coming. I guess you get like a 3-second warning. I just got the someone trying to offer me money because they thought I was homeless treatment. I'm aware I have habits that make me look homeless. This is not the first time this has happened. I don't think I'm gonna be here late enough to get a shot of those things lit up, but they look really cool at night. They got Christmas lights going up and down the sides. All this walking around being a transit YouTuber is making me hungry. Let's see if Scottsdale has any transit YouTuber specific food to offer. We're heading up to Fry's on 90th Street, which is less than a mile from Fry's on 90th Street. I had to check out both of them. It's like that time in Massachusetts when there were 2 Dunkin' Donuts right across the street from each other. So apparently Fry's Electronics reinvented itself as a grocery store here. Wow. I mean, it does kind of make sense because I do remember reading they're based out of Arizona. Time to answer the ever-pressing question of, do they have Snyder's? That would be a yes. Not bad. But wait, it gets even better. There's another Fry's like a block this way for some reason. Apparently this one is more like a Target / department store / grocery store. And the other one looks more just grocery store, so. Gotta love a good grade separated bike trail. There's a new neighborhood in Irvine that I jokingly say that it looks like Arizona. And then I get here and I realize that 80% of the buildings actually do look like that. Must be part of the building code. Is it me or is Whataburger's logo the inverse of Foothill Transit's? There it is. Time to do the impossible, see the invisible, and walk across a parking lot. This one feels like the same thing except without a Starbucks inside of it and without the department store departments. Oh, I guess I was wrong. Hey, you're in Arizona. Aren't we gonna see some actual cactuses? Why, yes. Did you know that the saguaro, the archetypical cactus-looking cactus, only naturally occurs in the American Southwest? It's also the state flower of Arizona, and is a protected species here. I love the amount of stuff here that's just made out of bare steel, because since it's so dry here, it's not going to corrode to death from humidity like in Southern California by the ocean. Alright, we're here back in Tempe, trying to get a bearing of where exactly we're looking at here, and this actually dated looking map. Pre-1996 map here, and then future light rail stops, which are now existent. And so we got this lake here that's along the Salt River. They have a dam on 3 different sides of it, which would explain the amount of water here. Bummer shot. We got the old bridge and the new bridge. And sunset shots. Everyone likes them. Everyone loves them. Hey, I thought this wasn't a social commentary. So I really enjoyed my time in Arizona, even though I was only here for 2 full days. Accomplished a lot for 2 full days. But really all we accomplished was going to see some nature and see some trains. But for me that's a lot, and that is quite enough. That's right, a pedestrian bicycle bridge. Which means it's just like the Tillicum crossing in Portland, but without the trains and buses. Sweet. And there appears to be the dam. That is some incredible engineering. These are hydraulic cylinders, and they are used to open and close the dam. That is super crazy. That has got to be the biggest cotter pin I've ever seen. It's got to be like 1/2 inch thick. You know, I don't think I've ever heard anyone mention Tempe as one of their top 10 skylines. but I'm gonna have to add it to mine. Did I mention sunset shots? Everyone likes them. It's bad enough that the trains no longer go to Phoenix, but here they have to rub it in your face. So we've got some extra time before the connecting van gets here, so we're gonna go on an aimless ride on the streetcar. For the size and scope of downtown Tempe as a college town, this streetcar seemed very effective, as it was quite crowded the night I was on there. But it was also Halloween night, which may have had something to do with that. I rode down to the terminus at Dorsey Lane and back.
Arriving Dorsey streetcar stop.
Dorsey is the one stop also shared by the light rail on the other platform. I think they got the same chime as San Diego's trolley. Also, 4 copies of Guy Fawkes entered this streetcar at one point. Lucky me to show up during the first year of the streetcar service because it's free. And furthermore, it looks like there's other people waiting for the connecting van over there, so I'm in the right spot. I know I looked on the reviews and it said it was very ambiguous where did the bus pick up. Because it used to pick up here, but then this doesn't exist anymore. So now it's this parking lot. Oh, and earlier I bought the hard sourdough pretzels from Snyder's because I had never seen these before. But it's not actual sourdough because it has yeast in it. That's my ride, that's my ride. Return of the infamous blue streetlight? So the connecting van was excruciatingly late due to some traffic accident in Maricopa. But we got here right as the train was pulling in, so we here. Sorry, no time for station review. Thankfully these are coordinated trips, so they would probably hold the train for us if we were late. Otherwise we'd be stranded here for 3 days. The platform on Maricopa is unusually short, only big enough for 2 Superliner cars to open at a time. But you know, I'm wondering if this was intentional. Maybe this station was only meant to be temporary. Hey, guess who just merged with Southern Pacific, boy? Yes, I heard. Congratulations. Got any big plans for expansion? Yeah, we don't need that terrible old train track that goes to Phoenix anymore, so you and your little passenger trains are gonna have to find a new way around there. Sorry. Wait, what? What? It can't just... Did you hear that? I can't believe this. This is absurd. What should we do? Look, I'm pretty sure this is a huge mistake. I'll tell you what. We'll reroute the Sunset Limited through Maricopa. Go ahead and build a station there. Don't spend too much money on it. In fact, don't even build a whole platform. We'll get this Phoenix thing back in no time. You got it, Chief. Welcome back to the Armchair Urbanist. This week, Amtrak makes its dramatic return to Phoenix after almost 40 years. Took them long enough. This time they gave me the front row seat, so there was no tray table to put my CPAP machine on, so I just put it on the floor. They gave me both seats this time, so there was plenty of room. Also, why is the nightlight blue? I thought blue light interferes with the sleep cycle. Unless this is just another way to incentivize sleeper car ticket sales. I don't know. The ride through the night was just as smooth and peaceful as the previous one. Except for the people coughing in the next row. Let's get out of here. But just when you thought you could pull those crossing gates up, we got a bonus foamer shot. Conveniently, that newly expanded 486 I mentioned in the last video ended up being the best ride home, since nothing else was running that early. The 486 is one of Foothill Transit's most popular routes, which is why they extended it all the way to Pomona Transit Center.